Oh, we're here. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Coffee with Kyan. Normally Kyan's on these episodes. I'm kidding, he's going to be on here. But he's there's a lot more that goes in this production than just turning on Facebook Live. You have the elements of the lights and making sure that we actually have two cameras rolling at any given time. I don't know if you've ever watched the videos side by side, but they'll be a little different. We're actually here for the first time. Well, thanks everyone. We're actually here for the first time, I think one of the first times, in front of our, I'm going to call this a little mural with the IT Works logo. And this is actually, you can't really tell this on pictures, this is actually like hand cut out. Like someone physically stuck this to the wall. We're having, oh, okay. I thought we were having some technical difficulties, but this is really cool. It's got the Atlanta skyline, the UK skyline. It also has San Diego because there's we'll be moving in that direction as well in the coming few months. But while Kyan gets set up, he wanted me to come on here because we've been talking a lot about Dreamforce and what it means to go to Dreamforce, what are some of the things that we have to prepare for to go to Dreamforce. So it's been quite a whirlwind. So we really wanted to talk about what it takes to come on as a recruitment consultant and start your market. And it's not just about coming in and it being just your own business, but there's an element of marketing. There's an element of getting your personal brand out there. And so there, we've kind of, I guess that's one of the big things that we talk about so much at IT Works, and so I've really felt the benefit of starting that early in these last few months, and I've been here for about 8 months, close to 9 months, and I'm really starting to see that what you put in, you really do get out. And so thank you so much for all of you, all of my candidates out there that I speak to on a daily basis, all of my clients. It really is a pleasure to really know this market and be able to genuinely help, but again also having my career in the perspective as well. Are we ready? Do we have no sound?
Yeah, we're great. We've been doing great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kyan, welcome Kyan, the star of the show, the real star of the show.
No, just kidding. I think that having a Jerry on here is a very different perspective, as most of you that have been watching Coffee with Kyan and have probably seen Jerry in the different episodes. I think probably how many times have you been on? At least 2-3 times, right?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yeah, I think that 2 weeks ago, that was one of our major hit, obviously, that I already saw in the statistics, Erica and then Kazia blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
And create lots of great buzz in the New England / New York. I think that Upper New Jersey area, and then bringing Jared back in here means a lot of, quite different in several different sectors. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that specifically. Yeah. But I think most of you are probably recognizing from the Beauty and the Beast episode.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was my first Coffee with Kyan episode, and it was actually all about Kate, and it happened to be when Beauty.
Kate Brown.
Hi, Kate Brown.
When you're watching from Ireland, so send our best regards to you. And your name will be mentioned quite a bit, Kate. So be ready for this.
She was, she was the Beauty, and we were talking about what brought her to IT Works, and so it was fun to kind of bring in the Beauty and the Beast theme, if you will, since that was the time that the new movie came out, which I still haven't seen yet.
Where haven't you seen it?
I don't know. It went out of theaters and then I just never did.
They've
so
been a music geek as much as I am and you are. So
I mean, I hate to say this, but Disney has never been like a big thing like in my childhood. Like Dr. Seuss was like the thing in my childhood. We read Dr. Seuss and that was our thing. So like a few of the Disney things, like mostly like the Cinderellas and Bambi was like my favorite. But we never really watched like Beauty and the Beast or
Little Mermaid.
No. I watched Little Mermaid for the first time maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
What did people do growing up from the eastern side of Washington State?
It's kind of a hodgepodge of folks. It's a very small town activities, like 3 cars on the road is traffic, that kind of mentality. I mean, I can tell you, I remember when we got our first stoplight in the little town that I grew up in. So it's really different, like living here, and now I'm used to it here.
I want to shout out to everybody back in the eastern part of Washington State.
Big shout out to all my Newportians, Spokaneans, all of the, actually, I hate to bring, everyone thinks that Idaho is like nothing, like it's like a South Carolina. It sort of is, but all my Idahoians, my potato lovers, I have a lot of family in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, Montana, and even British Columbia. So hello if you're watching. I'll make them watch it.
During my 4 years in Salt Lake City, Utah, and also Salt Lake County, I think I've been to Idaho a few times. I think mostly for the nature, the hot springs. But that part of the country is definitely gorgeous. And something that I never experienced through my teenage years, really more as an adult. So I understood a little bit of the cultural aspect. But obviously, from that point on, your transition to North Carolina and been in Atlanta, Georgia for the past few years. And then especially looking through shout out to Christina Calzolari for her love.
Hello.
Yeah, and then coming being in Atlanta for the past 4 or 5 years, right?
No, I've been in Atlanta for almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Over 6 years.
Over 6 years.
Yeah.
I think lots of things have grown, a lot of things has developed.
Oh, yeah.
I think we'll probably go through the different aspects of things as well. I think I really saw that we have a little extra prop in here. Jerry and I have a few things in common. I will always bring in this fact that the music aspect of things, both of the work for Starbucks at one point in our life is a very dear part of our memory as growing up. So walk us through a little bit more what that process was like growing up.
Yeah, well, when I was in high school, I actually managed the radio station in our little high school.
When you were on the show?
Yeah, we did our little morning show, and we learned so much in the radio class that they were like, hey, if you guys want to take it over and see what it can be, and obviously we had our mentors, our teacher mentors to kind of push us in the right direction. But that could only get us so far in a little tiny town of 2,000. So, and what I mean by that is financially. They can only pay you so much.
Your audience is only pretty well controlled in that environment and versus a wider spectrum of they pick up additional county or cities or towns.
Yeah, I mean, our radio station did go to Spokane, but nobody was tuning into 91.5 at that time. It used to be a classic rock station, and then they transitioned it to a country station, which is more in line with what the folks would listen to in Newport. Yeah. But I got an opportunity. I had a close friend of mine, hello Tammy Goulet, who was who was a manager for a Starbucks store. And I also used to do Future Business Leaders of America. And one of the ways that we raised money was by making these espresso drinks at football games and basketball games. Oh, wow. So I always loved the element of coffee. That was really fun for me. So I was like, oh, I always loved Starbucks and I always wanted to work there. I'm like, there's no way. So I sort of was a shoo-in, because I knew her. I don't know that I would have got the actual job. Actually, I will guarantee you I would have not got the job because I didn't have a car, and this was 50 miles away from my house. So I was borrowing my mom's car for 3 months until we could buy my own car. And I was 15 and a half. I almost was turning 16, so I had to wait till I was 16 to actually start.
To drive and all.
But you can't work.
Oh, that's right.
In Washington until you're 16.
I should know that doing what I do.
And then there were so many elements but I made it there, and I could only work 20 hours a week. But going in there and seeing how process-oriented a company is and how you can still be in a small city and feel, you felt the effects of Seattle. You felt the culture of Seattle really coming to each and every Starbucks store, and I worked in a lot of different Starbucks stores, and just having that, like, it really is, I don't know if it's their thing anymore, but it's the third place environment. Like, you go and you can be whoever you want to be, and you know, as soon as you walk in that door, it's a safe environment. So I really enjoyed that, and really enjoyed not only working in starting my professional career, but being able to work with other people, and you learn a different culture of people outside of your high school world, and so it was my start into
pretty much also
being an adult.
Force you to grow and to grow up, pretty much, for sure.
Yeah, there's different things thrown at you every single day,
and have layered down a pretty good foundation of SOP.
Yeah.
And then how they operate in the store. There's a really proper procedure. I think that's something, at least on my end too, I learned a lot from the foundation of why having that. You can call it structure. You can call it the foundation, culture, the skeleton, the DNA of how a company is run. It builds that really good infrastructure to make sure that you're starting off successfully from the beginning. Yeah,
I agree. I feel like if it was, I'm sure many things have changed, but if it was still ran the exact same way, I would remember how to do it.
And hopefully for the better as well. Change is always hard, because change comes into everybody growing on a different stage, everybody growing with a different maturity level, growing that being how long they have been with the company, being partially experience level and partially their own personal background, professional background that brought them to certain stages. So I think that I think you're coming in a very different perspective, because you didn't come from a staffing background until you came to IT Works, and then the first time you exposed to the entire full 360 spectrum, and then
or any spectrum.
A lot of sales, a lot of customer interface, client interface type of thing, but not necessarily the client and candidate perspective. Yeah. So as you see, been with us for during your tenure, what have you seen that just looking at different people, especially every single one of them looking through across the room are all one of a kind. Everybody comes on a different journey.
One of the things that was expressed to me from Gary Dieter on my last interview was that, and you expressed it as well, every person in this room would, if you ever needed help with anything, they would be the first to run and help you. And to kind of consume that and go, yeah, you can always say that about your company, but that's like genuinely true. Like, there is a special caliber of people culturally that work here, and they all come from different backgrounds. They're all extremely grateful to have this opportunity. We were talking about healthcare earlier today, and just, you know, I wanted to stand up and be like, by the way, I've never worked for a company that contributes to your monthly
contribution.
Contribution, and that's no slam on any other company, but that's a one up, and it's not a small one up. That's additional things you had to pay for. So it's little things like that kind of makes us appreciate who we are and where we are. And it's hard to kind of point out
and describe it.
Yeah, because we've went from one side of the office. We were all really close, and now we've expanded so much that we didn't fit on one side of the office anymore. We had to use the other side of the office as well. So
I don't know, it's crazy. A year ago, that it doesn't seem as this entire office that, since we've been here for roughly 15 to 16 months, you know, it used to be fairly spacious, and now it just seems like, wow, everything almost capped out, which is an exciting thing to see for a growing company. But I want to actually highlight your team a little bit more, because especially on I believe it was Wednesday morning when we go through a contract negotiation, I think that actually Thursday morning yesterday, I think your team definitely spoke up about a lot of different spectrum.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your team. Well, not necessarily talking about them behind their back, and I think their name will be dropped in here too.
Well, great news. This is live. So this is live. So
try to be open and transparent.
No, we do continuing education here, and we do training, and we always, you know, Kyan does a great job in pushing us to the next level, and but not only that, but thinking about things from a different angle. Even if the angle you're thinking about it was the way he would originally think about it, he removes himself and says, well, think about it from this perspective. So it's always good to have that. Always need to listen to that. But for some reason, Salesforce kind of, I guess, ganged up in the corner over here, and we had some, and in a good way, and it was very passionate, with very passionate conviction. There was a lot of coaching and.
I think from Maceo, Mark.
Yeah, Maceo, Mark.
Jay, Erica was definitely fired up. You see Kazia. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what? It's like 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. They're all like wanted badly. For
Yes.
The person who's actually going through the specific workshop and exercise.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Well, I mean, anything good in life, no one's just going to give it to you. No one's just going to hand it to you. And if that happens, great. But you're much more proud of it once you can achieve it yourself. And so you have to take it. You have to put yourself in a position where no's not the answer. Like with your conviction, with your determination, you will break through. And it may take a couple times, or it may take 10 times. And it may not happen every time. But those are the times that get you to go, okay, well, I learned this from this. So let me make sure I use all of this and apply it to my future experiences or future endeavors.
Especially working in the people business, everybody is different. I think we can easily categorize our client into the certain types, either being 3, 5, 25, 30. But I think until a degree we realize that everybody's going to be truly one of a kind, and especially mixing with different scenarios. It coming down at the end of the day is still us.
Yep.
As I myself an individual, Jerry's an individual. How do we deal with, how do we face the things, potentially we can call it challenges, scenario, incident, event, however that would be, and then to look at what we would do. And then partially the repetition will help us grow and mature further and further. But,
well, even going from having a mentor, which I had an amazing mentor, Kate Brown, having a mentor and having a legitimate question in my mind and saying, okay, I really don't know where to go from here. And so you bring that mentor into it, you talk it out, or they may just have some advice for you right away because they've done it, because they've been able to go through that situation and they know it so well that this is going to work, or they know it well enough that this is most likely going to work. And then going into a situation where you're the mentor and you have to come up with it's not even about coming up with the solution.
yeah,
It's-
but know what to do in there and then kind of being put on the spot. And
Yeah, but you can go back in your mind and go, wait, I've had this exact situation, so I can tell you exactly what I think you should do before proceeding forward. So there is that element. Like sometimes I do feel like I'm rewriting emails for other people because there's a way to do it so that there's finesse, and then I always add Ray's gracious and assertive style to it. But just having that element of going from having a mentor and then being a mentor and then watching these folks become mentors.
Yeah, and learn throughout the process to better ourselves. It
Yep.
really should be a 1 + 1 greater than 2 aspect of things.
It is.
And it's nice to have that fresh take
Yeah.
of things. Yeah, as Kazia walking by, not saying
Yeah.
hi, and then.
Kazia not saying hi.
Hi,
Oh.
this is the queen that's
Hi,
got
Kazia.
3,200 plus views.
Hello.
We have to get more views than her.
Yeah, we'll probably need to tag you in here to really help us get a little bit more popularity now.
Gosh, don't stop it, boys.
How are things going so far with this week?
Pretty good. A lot of traction.
Lots of traction?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
you working on right now?
Well, I just submitted out a candidate.
She did.
Special shout out to the candidate. We'll probably have.
And that was her first candidate.
Yay!
Ding-a-ling! Yes!
That's awesome.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
And they're going to get the job
They are. Monday.
Monday.
Ooh. October 2nd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
going to be a commit?
We're going to see.
What kind of answer is that? We're going to see.
Yes.
Cross, right?
There will be a commit. Let y'all get back to it.
Thank you.
She just crossed her fingers, which we don't do here.
You're like you're throwing the arrow at me directly.
We'll talk about that offline.
That's awesome. What's on the horizon for you now?
There is so much on the horizon.
So walk us through that. As today, I actually mentioned to Jill, I'm sure they're all aware of it because she's looking at the numbers and all. Jill Holton is our financial controller, and walking to her office today is like, guess what? Today's the last day of the year. It's actually the last day of our financial year.
Oh, it is.
So coming to
and
Monday,
Starbucks, they're also on a fiscal year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On October 1st?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Well, thank you, Starbucks. You have helped me so much throughout my career. So thank you. We're drinking the special Starbucks blend. So thank you, Pipe Roast. So coming on Monday will be our Q1. So what's on the horizon for the Salesforce, your market, your team?
Q1 is extremely exciting. This will be the first year that IT Works has actually had a kiosk at Dreamforce. And I know we talk about Dreamforce a lot, but it is so important. This is sometimes our one and only chance to go out and meet candidates and clients from regions that are not near Atlanta. You know, our folks who manage the Atlanta region, Maceo and Mark, they had an opportunity to really meet some of their candidates and clients in the Atlanta area with Southeast Dream-In and also the Trailblazer conference. Well, now this is our chance for the likes of Chelsea, for example, who's in Canada, and there's going to be a ton of Salesforce experts, a ton of Salesforce clients, you know, at Dreamforce in San Francisco. This will be a really good place for us to network.
And internationally, because our full 360 really mingles everything together. We focus on the niche. In this case, the niche is Salesforce, but obviously Salesforce market is huge. As any industry that have a sales analyst can use its CRM, and also as Salesforce strive to be really the true best CRM in the market. And I think that we found a lot of mutual common ground of the values that we strive for.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, especially have everybody now in one place.
Yeah.
And
so this is
pipeline for Dreamforce.
Huge, and we can't get it wrong. We have to do it so right. We have to make sure that if there's a candidate or a client that wants to meet with us, we're there, we're available. There's going to be 6 of us to actually physically be there, and have those discussions and talk about what their goals and aspirations are and what the next steps are, what IT Works can do, you know, not do for you, but how can we collaborate with you? How can we be an extension of your organization and have the candidate's best interest at heart? And I think that's definitely been the #1 priority in Q1. Obviously, besides
Dreamforce,
is Dreamforce and obviously contributing to our monthly goals and all that fun stuff. There's other things in the plan, but I think that's one of the biggest things.
Fantastic. Obviously, as we pipelining through the next few weeks, we'll have more and more of your team members coming on.
Yeah.
And then I think that the big secret will reveal essentially what we have in the pipeline for everybody who's going to Dreamforce.
Yes.
And I'll be not just directly on site. We'll have lots of viral interactive things that I think that
viral
throughout many different web resources and so on. So talk about your market specifically. What area are you specializing in specifically?
So I lead the Midwest market. So anything from South Dakota all the way over to Michigan, Illinois. So I will tell you one of the coolest things about one of the coolest things. I know he put this up here and it covered up my lighting from this side of my face. But one of the coolest things about that market is that, you know, in every market probably, but this is most prevalent to me because I'm in it. You know, you've got the Chicago market, you've got the bigger cities, St. Louis, but then you find like a complete Salesforce world in the more rural areas.
Yeah.
In the like North Dakota, there is plenty of Salesforce candidates in North Dakota and plenty of clients who need them as well. And you know, North Dakota doesn't get as much press as they probably should, but we know it's not one of those places that has a major metropolitan city, as I drop my cell phone. But, it's fine. So, I really love the engagement in this particular region. I think every single major city that has a community success board, and that's Detroit has their own. When I was over in the Ohio area, each city had their own success page, so you could kind of collaborate with the people who are around you.
Yeah.
Anytime I post something, they're liking it, they're sharing it, they're talking, hey, Jared needs this, Jared needs a Salesforce administrator in Chicago, go. And then I get a bunch of emails based on that. So there's a lot of help I get from you. And actually have a shout out to one of my candidates yesterday who said, this is the first time I'm emailing you. And he emailed me with an in-mail.
Wow.
An in-mail, which means he knows about me and is not on my LinkedIn. And he said, I don't know of another recruiter that gets their name out as well as you do. My name is Scott. We've never met, but this is who I am and this is what I do. And I was
That's
like,
a big compliment.
dang, like you're not even a LinkedIn connection
in any way. And
right.
you have thousands of connections as well. I
Yeah.
really speak a lot about obviously your outreach into your community, I think within the region that you worked in, and potentially a lot more within Salesforce.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you have the Salesforce Tower that went up in Indianapolis, and then they opened up a spot in the Chicago area, and so there's a lot more going on than I think we even know, and so I think we've set ourselves up in a great spot to collaborate with many of the companies that may not even exist yet.
Yeah.
So
especially the ones that are going into the adoption process of Salesforce as their CRM too. Lots of exciting things going on in the region. Obviously, Chicago is a big market.
Yep.
Lots of stuff in Ohio already.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where our business continue to grow. Lots of exciting things that
yes.
coming online.
One of the things I want to do next year is I want to go to Midwest Dreamin', which is in Chicago.
It's in Chicago.
It's in Chicago. It was in Chicago this last year. I missed it, so I'm sorry for those of you that went and were possibly expecting me to be there, because there was talks that I might make it out there, but it was in the middle of something else. I don't remember. There was a.
But you'll probably be there. Well, you're going to be there for Dreamforce anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. So I'm really excited about that, and I think the other biggest thing when I walk through this door is, not just growing my brand, but helping my peers and my team grow their brand and really become the business professionals that they can be, and it takes time. You can't become one overnight.
Yeah, be the expert in the market.
Yep, absolutely.
Fantastic. I have two more questions for you. First thing first, actually working with many of the I don't want to call them newbies, but they are lots of adventurous, lots of passionate, I think newer recruits, I think, on your team. I think everybody's growing at various speed, and then with lots of passion and feel behind them. What do you have for your thoughts and feedback on working with them?
You mean as far as how they've grown, or in the direction that they've grown?
Kind of both, and more.
Everyone learns at a different pace, and it's not like for like here. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about folks in other divisions as well.
I think based on your perspective.
And everyone came from different backgrounds too. So some folks were just recruiters. That's all they did. Some folks were, BD, so business development, all sales.
But no,
so that's all they did.
Contact.
Right. And so there's an element of understanding the full process, and not only just understanding the full process, because you can only get that so perfect, and then it changes every single time you talk to someone. So I think just watching everyone, some of the folks, like you can tell, like based on your background, you're going to be successful at this time, or it's going to take this long to make something stick. And those folks may take a little longer time. And then the folks that you're like, they're going to be, we're going to have to nurture a little bit because they don't have the knowledge. They don't know. They're the ones like busting in here and making a bunch of deals. Yeah. So there's never a dull moment. There's always somebody there to challenge you. And I love seeing people who are not even on my division come over and say, hey, how do you do XYZ.
That's true level collaborations. I
Yeah.
think that speaks a lot. I think it's either as an individual, either as a. It doesn't matter whatever position you are, and we're really not big on titles.
Yeah.
It's being held, and then also being treated like a professional. I think that's
Yeah.
that was always a good pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, our divisions are teams, but it's not a team as in it's not a sporting team. We're all one team. Salesforce can help health can help Salesforce, and we do. Like, sometimes someone will ask me a question, I'll be like, you know what? Let's bring in someone else as well.
Hello, business systems.
Yeah. Business systems. Yeah, I mean, and I think that those are the little things that you hold on to, and eventually you start saying the things that you never thought you'd say.
Yeah.
And it works. And you're like, wow, I can do this. So it's really interesting to watch that.
Yeah, especially from the commitment and collaboration.
Oh, yeah.
Doing this consistently, continually.
Yep.
And then until we gain that momentum and credibility.
Yeah.
Being viewed as an expert in doing what we do.
Yeah, I mean, you're only new for so long, and then you move on.
Absolutely. I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Actually, as you continue this journey, growing from various aspects of things, what would you say to the any of the mentors / managers, direct reports that have left doesn't matter what kind of impact, good or bad, positive or negative, what would you say to them?
Oh, that's a loaded question because there's such a diverse group. Each and every one has taught me something about the business world or real life, and also taught me something about myself that I may not have realized while I was working alongside them. And then after you're out of their care and you're on your own, you realize, wow, there was a reason that this happened, and it was because of XYZ. And so what I would say to them is continue doing what you're doing, because there's a reason you're in that role. There's a reason you got to where you were, and you had your own trials and tribulations. And also let the people that you are working alongside or who are your direct reports, let them be themselves, because I was able to be myself with every single one of my managers and mentors. And I don't know that I would be as comfortable in the business world without being able to truly be myself. And then you can coach around that, because there's a lot of one of the things that I talked about Kate before she went off to Ireland was that there's this notion that we have to be perfect, and you don't. Just be yourself, feel what you want to feel, and you can't go wrong with that. You're always going to be honest, and the truth always sets you free. Like, as long as you're true to yourself. And I'm not even talking about
Casey years probably like
no, it really does. Like, be honest, and we talk about genuine interest a lot, but I don't think a lot of us truly understand what that means. It means really wondering and really being concerned about what the person is actually saying. And if
to me, it's about the care, but everybody
and the care.
And it's kind of funny. Everybody, their perception to what they think it would be to what they actually comes out, the delivery, and also the action, the execution is always a little different.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
the genuine interest part of things is very, very good. But you brought up a great point. Just be you, be awesome,
you.
And then good things will come along if we stick to it, commit to it, and continuously doing it. So.
Yeah, and I think coming from a foundation like this, or whatever foundation you came from, and going with your gut, and always making your career, but also your life, top priority. Learn as much as you can. There's no shortage of knowledge out there, and just always try to better yourself. That's what I think.
We'll end it here. If you have any question, please contact us with Jared at jared.wagner@itworksred.com or 678-291-0081. Any question, you can reach me at the same method as well, or at Coffee with Kyan on Twitter. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Hey, thank you. Good episode. Want to say hi to Chelsea?
Where's Chelsea?
I think she's walking her way over here.
Hi, Chels.
Hi.
You coming in for the end?
Hey guys. Bye guys.
Here's Chelsea.
Oh, snap.